The discussion here today, or
Were you going to make a statement?
no, Ger Brophy's my name. I work inside in Tulsa. I'm the chief social worker, and I just wanted to come down really just to acknowledge the fact that you're here. That's all.
That's great. Thanks very much.
You know,
Yeah.
because obviously it's a difficult situation for everyone. You know.
Yeah. The whole of Ireland.
Pardon?
The whole of Ireland.
Right.
Yeah, it's just what you know. It's like cloak and dagger stuff, you know.
Right.
Like the whole lessons of this. As I've heard of another social worker I used to work with, is that I won't be naming. And 3 social workers have left because of how disgraceful you carry on in there. You know, the whole conduct towards foster parents and people. Like you ripped a child out of a person who was in the procedure to get the child adopted. And you went into hospital and caused them huge distress. And I got this off a nurse. This is the information from a nurse.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, that family has been gagged by you.
Right.
By your solicitor.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, you know, like there's cloak and dagger stuff here going on, and the light will come through. You understand? I have a lot of people in a lot of places.
Yeah.
And you can cover it up for so long, but it will come out.
Yeah.
It will come out.
Who are you from Tulsa?
Yeah, he's the manager.
Yeah, Ger Brophy's my name. Yeah,
Right, okay.
yeah. So that's why I was wondering if there was someone who was, you know, I don't know, involved with the family or representing it or whatever. I don't know.
Because the in-camera rule wouldn't allow them to.
Right. Okay.
And they can't be named, and we're just here. We know about it. Read it from Facebook. We're here to support.
Okay.
So it's the horror of what's going on.
I mean, when you read the background to it, when you see such an ill child. Actually, you know, my friend's a clinical psychologist and said the damage that's been done to that child by the mode that the child was taken in, you know, he's going to suffer from separation anxiety for the rest of his life, because there is a procedure. If I went into hospital and I had an operation and I woke up and I was surrounded by unfamiliar faces, I mean, you think you died and went to another planet. I mean, how the child doesn't have a cognizance at 13 months to kind of 14 months to understand this. So I mean, there has to be a transition period. There was a 6-week, I believe I read, a 6-week period where that child would need recovery. So easy introduction of, you know, my cousin has adopted children. I mean, I know plenty of people, so it's not an anti-adoption. I mean, those people are innocent parties. But Tulsa is a culprit here. I mean, when you know, legal action, you know, I mean, when you fight through the courts for 2 days, I mean, not alone with this, I mean, we have Tulsa with 800 files down on a desk in Offaly border, like, I mean, reports from police, complaints about child abuse not being dealt with. We have the Grace scenario. We have the Chewing Babies family group with files being locked up in Tulsa and Galway. They're going tooth and nail against a 72-year-old man who just wants to find out about his sister, and they bring it to the High Court. They fight. I don't get the logic of it. It's a big organisation. It's only a new organisation. And I mean, it's been from day one. It was a chop off of the HSE Child and Family Services, and you had Gordon Jays in there, and he disappeared. And you have, I mean, I've been dealing with them all, like in relation to the children stuff. And I have the internal memos about how they cover up stuff. And I'm watching a programme on the television about a lady who has breast cancer, and then there's more cover, not us at HSE. I mean, we are the public, we pay our taxes, we try to do the best we can. And I mean, especially in this case, it's the best interest of the child, be it a foster parent, be an adoptive parent, be it the mother themselves. But in this case, the best interest of the child is served by leaving this child with the parent that they know it. And there was never any easy transition into why this child was taken. This child is a very, very ill child and was taken from her. And I watched, there was a blanked out video on YouTube of a sibling of this child, and a foster sibling of this child who's absolutely traumatised, hasn't been in school for 10 days, hasn't eaten in 10 days. I mean, there's something radically wrong when this goes on. Do you know what I mean?
I know, and the general point you were making though is about, you know, look, there's a whole series of things happening, right? And look, what we want to do is try and have as much discussion as we can and be upfront with people, you know, and be as transparent as possible.
Now. He was taken out of hospital and he was just handed to new parents. There is procedures, I know there's rules, I studied the law, but there's also proper procedures in the best interest of the child, right?
Why is there no familiarisation between the child and the adoptive parents, like, you know? I mean, it was literally just over the space of 5 days, the child was taken out of the sick bed, out of hospital, and given to people that he never met before. The two who've got obviously high needs as it is, like.
And obviously, what you'd want to do, of course, is have a whole process for that, you know, in any of those cases.
Yeah, but the preparation legally is the child is supposed to be prepared to go into adoption to his new parents. Not to be just ripped out of a sick hospital and handed to strangers that he didn't even know.
No aspersion on the adoptive parents. They're the innocent party in this. I know.
The child is bonded with the girl who really looked after us. And surely to God that you lot couldn't see the history that the girl that had him cared so much. I know once the child is out of your bounds, or whatever you want to call it, you don't care about the expenses and the medicines and all this. Fair play, the girl has taken that responsibility out of your hands, but she is a very caring person. And I'm standing here, now I'm one of the mothers from the mother and baby homes, and I had my child taken from me. I didn't have a choice, but I'll say this much about that mother: she didn't give a damn about that baby from the day it was born. She wanted rid of it, and then she's given a choice: I'll give it to who I want. Well, I think it's an utter disgrace that child's bond has been taken from it, the bond that was given, and a loving and caring with her arms put around it, no matter how ill the child was. But to take it away, the bond that it was after gaining, and take that loss.
Such a critical.
It is such a new
I hear what you're saying, and it's really.
Now, I'm not being. I'm not going to be. I'm not here for trouble or.
No,
I'm here for.
No, look, you're talking from your own experience as well, and that's really, really important. It's really important we hear that.
I'm also speaking in regard to a human being. That child's human being has been distraught. And the poor child has been just totally...
No, look, that's definitely what you want in any situation. I hear your concerns about that, and we certainly don't want to be repeating the mistakes of the past. We want to be trying to do things completely differently.
But even moving...
And putting that child's interest in the first place, you know.
But even moving forward, they didn't.
They were the child from its surroundings.
I mean, when you have a clinical a trained clinical psychologist, a friend of mine, telling me that the trauma that's been done to this child can never be repaired. You know, irrelevant of its a genetic mother, you know, an adoptive parent, a foster parent. But the child's interest was the child has been scarred. It has gone in for an operation and it's woken up surrounded by new people. You think you've actually died and gone to another planet.
And it goes against everything that actually the Child and Family Agency actually, you know, are for. You know, was bonding and attachment and, you know, familiarisation with the child. And they completely went against their own ethos. I just don't understand that.
No, look, I get that those things are really, really key, and that's the way that certainly looks, you know. I mean, we have to be before the courts as well, we have to be before the adoption authorities and those things. We also have to put the interest of the child first, and definitely that's what we do want to do, and that's key. How that actually works out then between, you know, a family who are in involved in a pre-adoptive placement, or a family who are in an adoptive placement, and how that happens is always and can often be extremely difficult. So we want to try and put the best interests of the child forward in that.
But it wasn't.
But you had the best interest of the child from day one. When a mother came along, whether she be a single mother, she was a mother.
Or black, or a traveller, or a gay, or whatever.
That woman was so good and kind and honourable towards that baby, and gave her arms and her heart. And you broke that girl's heart. You broke it. I've seen her heart being broke. But I'll tell you one thing, I'm standing strong for this woman. Big strong. Now, I always stand up for the mother and baby homes. I stand big time for our justice. But this is an injustice for a mother that didn't give a damn about the baby. Didn't give a shit to
a child is being taken away from a mother because she's single. That's not right. It's 2018. That's like the best child happens.
But the whole legality here is you're after breaking your own rules by not preparing the child to bond with the parents. So you're after breaking your own rules. So why would you break your own rules? Like the preparation of a child meeting another parent is supposed to be on I think a 6 weeks or maybe 2 months basis, where the child meets the parents that they're going to. And he was only over an operation, and he was taken from a sick bed.
Well, look, it's a bit like what was said earlier, you know, in terms of when I was asking like who was here today. I get your concerns, and I hear that and I think I'd share a lot of them in terms of, you know, how all these cases need to be run. I think probably there's larger grounds for agreement on that. We obviously don't agree with how this case has been presented, right? But there's a piece that I can't talk about that. No, but there's bits of that I can't talk about in terms of specifics, because that's before the court, obviously, and that's why obviously other people have been here and you've referred to that yourselves. But what we really want to do was come down, myself and Greg, and just to let you know, we know you're here, to hear what you're saying, to say that, look, we do share those concerns as well. I don't have all the answers here today, and we can't have that discussion in detail about this particular case, because that's not your business, or it's not my business, it's their particular business, right? And that has to be sorted out in that forum. But those issues, I can completely understand what you're talking about, in terms of, you know, single parents. Someone mentioned the older parents as well, mothers who are there, and babies who have attachments. Like, we want to put children first all the time.
But it's not happening with Tulsa in general. We've got a case here of the foster parent looking to hold on to the child. We've got a case of where the mother, for whatever reasons, I'm not going to slate the lady, can't manage or can't keep the child, right? But we've also got cases of Tulsa again, right? I mean, if they're talking about the best interest of the child, extrapolating it further, right? They're not looking. What about Grace's case? What about 3 days ago down and go where there's abused children left in foster homes? So that's the other side of the coin, right? I mean, Tulsa is not a functioning organisation for people who are trained social workers, right? I mean, you're up in the calibre where you know the needs. Never mind the law. The law's an ass. We know that it's a different thing altogether, right? But on a humanitarian level, right? I mean, on a, like, as I say, a clinical psychologist level, I'm sure you're all trained in psychology. But I mean, when I have somebody of this calibre telling me that the damage that's done to this child will never, ever, ever be repaired, right? I mean, nothing can fix this now. Like, you can explain to us as cognizant adults what we know what's going on, right? But how, you know, when the damage, when the scars are made, when everything is done, he doesn't know he's adopted, fostered, whatever. He was taken away from the only mother that he ever knew, and he was handed over to strangers, and he woke up after an operation and he said, where am I, right? And that's all that child would know till he's cognizant, he was 19 or 20, and he can be a stranger. But for the moment, I don't believe that the best interest of the child is being looked after. And the fact that it was stated quite clearly that no lone parents, no travellers, no black people, and no gay people. That's against the law. Now we're into the law. I mean, that was statements made.
Look, I'm really glad that I got to come down and just chat to yourselves, and I'm happy to hear the points you're making, you know what I mean? There's a lot of that stuff that obviously we can't sort out, right? I'm concerned about it, you're concerned about it, we have that piece. There is a movement, I think, generally speaking, and I think Tulsa has been part of that in terms of putting children first, and we want to do that in children's interests, whether it be, you know, with older parents or younger foster parents or single parents or children, and just making sure that their interests are represented, that they can continue on in the schools that we're in, that they get good quality education, that there's good quality aftercare. You know, they're the things we want to try and make happen. But just for the point today, I appreciate what you're saying. It's really important. That's the bit I wanted to come down and say, and Greg was coming with me about that, just to let you know that we're not inside oblivious to what you're talking about, you know what I mean? The other bits about the particular of this case or any case, obviously we can't talk about, but we want to work that through, do you know what I mean?
But have you trained in psychology, you don't mind me asking? Have you trained in psychology? You're social workers or are you office workers?
No, Greg was coming down with me in terms of, and again, we didn't know who was going to be here. I'm the chief social worker in Tulsa.
So you would be trained in psychology as part of that, as would my daughter, who's a teacher and stuff. They would do X amount of psychology.
Just to say to you, right?
Don't mind the law.
I get the question. I get the question you're asking me. Right? Just to say to you, I really wanted to come down and just acknowledge that, right? And I hear what you're saying, right? And I hear the piece. No, I am.
You can't help hearing, but listening is a different thing, you know.
No.
But you still haven't answered the question.
I'm hoping that in what I'm saying, I'm evidencing that I am hearing what you're saying. You know, those issues are really, really important to us as well, right? But for the purposes of today, if there was stuff that we needed to follow up on, we've been already talking to the local area. I know there's conversations that need to happen. They need to happen. That does need to happen. But I'm perfectly happy for yourselves. You know, you want to meet and have this meeting here, that's fine. We just wanted to acknowledge the fact we know you're here. We shared a common interest in a lot of things. We mightn't agree on this particular issue. You're perfectly entitled to protest, and that's all we wanted to say.
Can you give
I agree on the child. That's what I agree on.
Tulsa came in and took the child out without actually any sort of familiarisation programme?
Well, I can't, for the same reasons as there's no one here today from that family. That's all subject to the court proceedings.
Do you have a child yourself?
Well, I don't mind. I don't mind.
You don't. But what do you know?
No, he hasn't answered yet.
He didn't answer the last question either.
I don't mind
psychology.
asking that question at all.
I'm not educated, but I'm asking you that question.
I don't mind asking that question at all.
Right.
But what difference would it make if I did or didn't have children?
It makes a big difference because when you know about how to handle a child, then you'll see the compassion and you see a heart.
Right.
But I'll tell you one thing, what they're doing, I've
seen
wrongs with Eastern Health Board.
What would make that?
I saw the wrongs of them and I never liked them, I never will like them. To this day, I'll always say Eastern Health Board. Never that posh name with your colours on it. Yellow and blue, is it? Yeah, that don't mean nothing to me. Yeah, whatever colours they have there, it don't mean a thing to me. But as far as I'm concerned, a human being and her heart has been broken, and that child should be given back in the best interest of that mother, the mother and the child, to give it back the bond that that poor unfortunate took on. And fair play to her for taking it on and taking all your responsibilities of having to fork out money for this, that and the other. She took on that, and then you lot come along and say, no, we're not going to do that because she's single. Well, I'll tell you, that's discrimination, and I hope the girl comes along and sues Tulsa for every penny that she can take to get the child back.
Can I answer your question then?
Yes.
Because I get what you're saying, and I'm going to go at that stage because I think it's really important. Look, I've heard what you're saying. I think it's important we acknowledge that. I do have children.
No, I'll tell you one more question.
Honestly,
one more question.
I'm glad to be here. One final question.
How did you break your own rules? That's all we want to know. How did you go against your own ethos, your own rules of implementing the bonding of a child with new parents? 5 days. Child is handed to parents.
How does that happen? How does it happen? In an office full of professionals?
You want to know why.
I was saying this earlier because again all that
Are you gagged by the
No, all that subject in camera.
Sorry, no.
That's about protecting every child's interest.
No, the part you're asking is not in camera because this is only administration. And if it's part of the legislation and the administration of Tulsa, the questions can be answered because they're not pertinent or relevant to the case. They're just the actual Section 2, 42.
Yeah, but I said in any case.
Yeah, in any case.
In any case, I said.
In any case, do you think that the rules were broken? Like, you know, if it's...
in any case, and in fairness, that's what I did say earlier as well. We want to try and have as much bonding. Now, in any transfer plan, you could have 6 months or you could have 6 days. It depends on every particular situation.
It never states that in your
No, but that's why...
It never states in your transcript 6 days. Now, that's a statement you're out there making, 6 days. Now, you heard what you're out there saying. So you will hand the baby over to parents after 6 days without implementing
That's not what I'm saying.
That's what you said. That's what you said. 6 days or 6 days.
No, look. What I am saying to you is, it depends on the individual situation. You will have some days when a child arrives in and it just happens on that day because that child has been left by somebody.
Uganda, we're living in Ireland.
How can it justify a child is sick and taken from the sick bed to the post-operative plan?
I really appreciate what you're saying. I'm glad we got to have the conversation.
You didn't have a conversation. You haven't answered any questions.
Look, I've done the best I can in this particular forum at this particular time. No, and I appreciate the points from you.
You're hiding something.
So look, thanks very much, lads. All right.
I am educated.